a little view around the screen before we get into the video. This is a video preview window which shows you what the final output is of your file. And here we have the video itself placed on the timeline. The timeline is in real time. At the top left hand corner here of the timeline, a very important piece of equipment that we'll be using. This tells you how far along from the timeline from the start that you are, and gives you your positions on where to make the editing. So this video is only just about 5 minutes long, so we will expect at the end to see 05 at the end, and these two digits here indicate the frames. So this video was shot in 25 frames a second, so instead of like a usual clock where this would go up to 60 then click on to the next minute, this only goes up to 25. You'll see the significance of that as we move along and do the actual editing itself. I'll just take you through a quick look through the video. Now this was shot all in one motion, so that the camera was left on with all of the warts left in the thing. So if I just scrub through it, you'll see that the DMU appears from behind the bushes and stops in the platform on the station. The DMU has a van on the back of it. So the 08 shunter then moves to the throat of the station, forward to collect the van, remove it back to the throat and place itself and the van on the centre road. The DMU then leaves. So we're going to make a video and remove all of the unwanted pieces that we don't want to see. Before we start, I'll just give you a quick run through of the scene that's shot. The camera is placed in a fixed position on a solid base, and all of the whole scene is shot in one continuous sequence. The train shed, just a few words on that. All the lighting in the train shed is fluorescence. The ceilings are painted white. The upper part of the wall is painted in light blue. This was a sky blue finish on the original painting of the building. But the darker blue, which you can see lower down next to the edge of the layout, is because this makes chroma keying a lot easier than the light blue. The light blue at the top is maintained so that we get the maximum light reflection onto the layout, whilst still being able to key in the area above the scenery. So what we're going to do first of all, if you look at the scene, you can see that there's all sorts of unwanted items that we don't want to see in the finished product. First of all, you don't want to see my back, and you don't want to see this blue area here, or the ceiling lights, or the light switch either. So what we're going to do is we're going to concentrate on an area around about here and make a close-up of that area, because that's where all the action's taking place anyway. So to do this, if I click on the event pan and crop, this opens up another window, and what this allows me to do is to zoom in on the scene and pick out the pieces that I want. So I'll just zoom it in a little bit, and as we go in on the finished window, you can see that the camera wasn't exactly set up straight when the shot was taken. But that doesn't really matter, because you can actually move it around, and I make sure when I do this, I'll just adjust it a bit smaller, I make sure that the line on this lining tool here lines up exactly on the horizon. It's a little bit out, that. I'll just adjust it back and take it down a little bit so that that disappears. So now we've chopped out all the bits that we don't want. But you can also, once you've done that, you can move it about so that you can use different parts of the scene. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to roughly place it in the centre, and then scrub along the timeline again, get my train to come in, and I'm going to adjust it now so that I've got the ideal position for all the action that's going to take place in the video. Once we've done that, you don't need that anymore, so we'll get rid of that. And that adjustment applies to the whole video. We can now set about editing the video. I'll just make the preview window a little bit bigger so it's easier to see, and center it off in the screen. So the first thing I want to do is the DMU appears, and the DMU appears from behind the bushes. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and find it on the timeline by moving it around a little bit. By moving the timeline around a little bit, you can see it's moving backwards and forwards there. So ideally I want the corner of the DMU to be just appearing from behind these bushes here. I'm going to adjust it using the keyboard so that I can actually see, you can just see there that it's appearing, and I'm just going to take it back now till it disappears. So what I want to do, if you look at the time indicator now, this is showing me that from the beginning of the video we're 11 seconds and 1 frame in from the start. I want to have a 2-second fade in so that the thing comes gently onto the screen at the same time as the DMU appears from behind that bush. So I'm going to turn the video back 2 seconds. So we make this 09:01. Again, I'm using the keyboard just to make it very accurate. And now I'm going to split the video. The unwanted portion at the beginning is now deleted, and I move the whole video back to the beginning. So now if I play the video, the DMU will appear after 2 seconds, which it does. So now I'm going to add the fade. fade in 2 seconds. That's for the video. I'm going to add a slightly longer fade on the sound. Sight always gets before sound. So we'll put 6 seconds on. Put 6 seconds on and we'll start the video again and play it from the beginning. Now the video opens and the DMU appears, and we'll let it run through to the station. Now I've stopped it just after it stopped itself because I want to find the moment when it actually stops. And to do this, I've just wound it back a few frames using the keyboard, and now I'm going to wind it forward until I find the point where it stopped, and that's the point where it stopped. The next move is for the 08 shunter to move to the station throat. I want to pause before that happens because I need to change the points in the throat, and a pause gives continuity. So I'm going to move the cursor forward now 3 seconds. So we're on 22:15, so I'm now going to go forward to 25:15. 25:15. And split the video. Now I'm going to move the cursor forward, and you can see that my hand comes to change the points. Well, we don't really want to see the hand, so we'll let the point take place. And now I'm moving forward to find the point where the 08 shunter moves. Again, using frame by frame. I'll just check that that's right. That's the position that it moves. So I want to move back to where it stops. And now I'm going to add 3 seconds, or I'm going to subtract 3 seconds from the current position. So we're at 41:07 on the timeline, so I need to go back to 38:07. 38:07. Again, split the video, pick the unwanted section and delete it, and now join these two together. We'll just play through now, and you'll see that the DMU comes in and comes to a rest. Watch the points. The points change and the shunter sets off. Again, I've stopped the video at the point where the shunter has stopped moving. the points need to be changed again. So I'm going to add on 2 seconds 55:08 55:08 and split the video once more. We move forward to the finger from the sky to see the points change, and again watching to see where the loco moves. This is a little bit tricky. I just get the position where it moves, and now go back 2 seconds. 10:10, 8:10. Go back to 8:10 and split. Delete the unwanted section. And put the thing back together again. So we'll just have a little run through. So the loco's now cleared the points and has stopped at the other side. Watch for the points change. The points have changed, and now the loco's coming forward. It's important to have a consistent speed. The loco now gently couples up to the van, and you'll notice gently. We don't want to knock all the passengers in the train over whilst we're doing this operation. So again, I'm now looking to find the point where the loco stops. So the loco stopped. Now at this point we need to uncouple the van from the DMU. So the big hand from the sky comes in again. So this time I'm going to leave 3 seconds after the loco stopped. So we need to be looking here for 36:16. So I'll just move us along to 36:16 and split again. We're using a very old, I'll just show you that again, using a very old piece of technology here. This is a triang uncoupler which does the job very well. It's about 50 years old, but I've never found anything better to uncouple the wagons than this piece of plastic. So once you've popped the coupling open between the van and the DMU, we're now looking for the point where the train moves away. So I'll just adjust until I find the moving point, and that's the point of movement there. I'm going to go back 3 seconds again now, so we're on 5:22, so we'll go back to 3:22 or thereabouts. Split the video again. knock out this section, the unwanted piece again, and this time I'm going to overlap the scene by a second. So we had 3 seconds after the 08 stopped, and we've got 3 seconds before it starts again. I've overlapped it by 1 second. And this gives a nice smooth transition when you're doing this sort of thing. So we'll see it come up to the van. And now take it away. And again, we need to stop the locomotive once it's cleared the points at the throat. And that's stopped. Again, we need to add 2 seconds onto the video before the points are changed. So I'm going to move the timeline on to 15:11. And split the video again. Points are changed once more, and we need again to look for the point where the loco moves, which is about there. And to accurately make sure it's not moving when you make your split, back 2 seconds again, 29:22 this time. We'll make it 28:22, just to give it a little bit of variation, and split the video once more. Delete the unwanted section, push the two together, and we'll have a look at it again. So that's it moving up to the bush. The points will change. And we come back. The 08 shunter only did about 15 miles an hour in real life. It's worth noticing that they didn't fly about like Ferraris. So I'm just going to find its stopping position again once more. And add 3 seconds. 47:04. Went the wrong way. Need to find the stopping position. I actually subtracted them there by mistake, so I'm just going to correct my mistake. I'll just make sure that it's stopped. That's it stopped. And I want to add 3 seconds onto that. So it should be 46:11. 46:11. And split again. And for the final time, the points will be changed. And the DMU will now leave. So we're looking for the leave point of the DMU. There we go. So I'll just adjust it back again until it's okay. So 3 seconds again. 0204. Split. Delete the unwanted section. Overlap by a second. So the OH shunter now comes to a stop. And after a few seconds, the points change and the DMU leaves. As at the beginning of the video where we faded the scene in, I also want to fade the scene out at the same place. So I've stopped the video again at the point where the roof of the DMU is just visible. I'm going to add 2 seconds onto the timeline. So I want 13:17. So I'll move the cursor to 13:17 and split the video once more. The final piece is now removed. I'm going to just expand it a little bit so that I can put a 2-second fade out and a 5-second fade out on the sound. You can see that the original 5 minutes of recording has now reduced down to 3.25 minutes. And I can play it back to you so that you can see the whole thing. From this point, the video needs to be rendered, and rendering is an operation where the computer puts together all of the bits that's in the edited sections into one continuous stream so that you can obviously watch the film. Once this is finished playing through, I'll render the video and you'll be able to see it next. The sound's been deliberately turned right down so that there's no interference whilst we're making the editing. I will turn it up a little bit for the final render. before you make any video like this, it's very important that you clean the track and you have a couple of practices with all of the movements, because there's nothing worse than seeing a video where the locos keep stalling, or there's stock that fall off the track, or they have wobbly wheels. Practice beforehand, practice it several times, and make sure that you get your camera set so that it's in a position where it catches all of the action. Also, it's unnecessary to keep switching the camera off. Make sure that the camera has enough memory on the card to capture your entire session. I think that's quite a satisfactory effort. Thank you for watching.